Welcome to part 527 in my conspiracy theory series. At this rate, I think one day I actually will get to part 527. I don't know if I should do something a bit bigger for part 10 and then stop the series after that, or if I should just keep going on with it. It just depends on what you want and if there's any new theories that I can make videos on. Which there is. There's always new theories, especially over the past few months with all the recent events that have been happening. Like why Nintendo didn't include Super Mario Galaxy 2 in Mario 3D All-Stars. With another theory being that when you beat the 3 games, it unlocks Mario Galaxy 2 as a secret hidden game, but let's be real, that's not happening. Just before we get into it, I want to say that this video is sponsored by NordVPN. You can visit nordvpn.com/polar, or you can use my code POLAR to get 68% off a 2-year plan. But we'll talk more about that later. For now, let's get into the theories. They tell us that COVID-19 came from bats. Can you explain why there are bats on the new 2020 quarters the same year COVID-19 spreads worldwide? Is it just me, or does this seem like more than just a coincidence? Bats symbolize death and rebirth. Is this a clue that they want to kill the masses and start a new Right, chill out a little bit. I think this one is going a little bit too far, a bit too quickly. It asks the question, can you explain why there are bats on the new 2020 quarters? And after googling why are bats on coin, I can. The design of the quarter is being used to raise awareness to the threatened status of Samoan fruit bats due to habitat loss and commercial hunting, according to the US Mint. Samoan fruit bats are native to the National Park of American Samoa. So yeah, there's the explanation for that. They're raising awareness for Samoan fruit bats. And I guess it's working because now I know about it, and so does everyone else watching this who didn't know before. It's funny because this exact information was available on the internet before this post was made. So throughout the whole process of writing this, they didn't think to just look it up quickly. Although it is a theory, so maybe the person is already aware and they just think it goes deeper than this. But then again, they were asking for an explanation, so maybe they weren't aware. Either way, there's the explanation for that. What if every time you hear that voice in your head telling you not to do something, it's your future self warning you because they already know the outcome? If that was the case, I feel like our future version of ourselves would help us out all the time. Like when I was back at school doing tests, why didn't my future self, my future self never bothered to tell me the answers? I mean, if he knows the outcome of my failed test, then give me the answers to fix it. If I could warn my younger self not to jump off a tree and attempt to land a double front flip onto my trampoline, I would do that, because I didn't land it, and I kneed myself in the face and nearly knocked my front tooth out, and I still have a gap because of it to this day. Unless my future self was warning me and I just chose to completely ignore him. If that's the case, sorry. No, but seriously, I think the voice in your head telling you not to attempt something dangerous isn't your future self warning you. You just know it could go wrong. Plus, I think it goes a bit deeper than that, because if my future self has already been through something and now he's warning me because he knows the outcome, if I choose to listen to him and I don't do whatever that thing is, now there's two different versions of myself, one that didn't do it and one that did do it and warned me about it. So I think we're getting into a completely different theory here, so how about we just move on? Now this next one is a video. It's not so much theory, well, it is a theory because people are theorizing what's going on in the video, but it's a video of Pope Francis seemingly just vanishing into thin air. He's walking back inside, and then before it cuts to like another scene, he just disappears. I don't know why I find this so funny. I think it's because he disappears like characters do in old video game cutscenes. I can't help but think this is like the end of a cutscene in a PS2 game or something. And he just gave you a new quest and it's about to cut back to the gameplay and the character model just disappears. As far as the video goes, it's obviously, well, to me it seems like some sort of camera glitch or lag, like it skipped a few frames, or maybe someone could have edited it. That's always a possibility. Someone could have edited the footage. It doesn't seem like it would have been that difficult to edit. I'd either say it's edited or a glitch. I think those two things make the most sense without going into completely ridiculous theories. The date that the Mayan calendar predicted for the end of the world is technically June 18th, 2020 rather than December 21st, 2012. When accounting for the errors in the Gregorian calendar, we are technically in 2012 due to missed days shown in the Julian calendar. Accurately comparing the timeline of the Gregorian calendar makes the December 21st, 2012 date jump to June 18th, 2020 instead. I don't have much to say about this one other than it didn't happen. I've seen so many end of the world predictions now that it's just another day. The best way to prove these wrong is to just simply wait. It never happens. I'd only ever believe it if there was proof a huge asteroid, an Earth-destroying asteroid, was on pace to hit us. Or some disaster like that, right? And they just straight up told us, yep, we're gonna die. Just go out and live your last few days however you want. Although one, I don't think they'd miss an asteroid that big heading directly towards us, and two, they wouldn't tell us anyway because everyone would just go out panicking, robbing shops, and it'd be a huge mess. Also, these random predictions never say how the world's gonna end. Like, are we just gonna get to the date and explode, or what? What do they actually think is gonna end the world on these dates? Because that's the thing that I never really hear too much about. What if we are all in a video game and every year is a new level, getting harder and harder? Those who die have to start the game all over again. Then the developers aren't very good because humans don't last long enough to finish the game. Those who die have to start the game all over again. So everyone then. What kind of game developer encourages invincibility glitches to finish their game? Because that's the only way we're gonna do it if the goal is just simply surviving levels, aka years. Plus, being born now is like joining halfway through a COD game, you know, we've already missed out on loads of the levels. But I guess time doesn't really exist, so maybe there's a way to beat the game before we die. But again, the theory is saying that each new year is a new level, and the years are going to keep going on after we die, so in conclusion, we need to find those invincibility glitches. What if we can breathe in space, but they just don't want us to escape? That would either mean there's enough oxygen in space for us to breathe and survive, which there's not, or it could mean we could breathe in space without the need for it, but then again, you could just test that here on Earth, like go up to Mount Everest, where there's not as much oxygen in the air that you breathe, so, but it's a theory, so since this is like a what if type of thing, let's assume that we could breathe in space, and we did find out about it. How the hell are we gonna escape? Oh, we can breathe in space? Cool, let me just go get my rocket that I've been keeping in my garage. Yeah, it would probably be quite tough to escape, and even then, where are you gonna go? You know, you need resources. You don't just need the ability to breathe in space to survive. In 2006, a senior man began to gain the trust of a Belgian bank by bringing the employees chocolates. Eventually, they decided to give him VIP access to the bank's vault. The following year, he stole 28 million worth of diamonds and vanished. I find it hard to believe that they gave him VIP access because he brought them chocolates a few times. Hey, could I take a look in the vault? I promise I won't steal anything. Sorry sir, this vault is top secret. There's diamonds in here worth tens of millions. I can't just let anyone in. I brought you some chocolates. Okay, right this way! This did actually happen though. It's not really a conspiracy. He befriended the staff, visited regularly, and eventually got in. Washington State has the most recorded Bigfoot sightings, with over 2,000 being reported. There are a number of theories around this mythical creature. Some believe it's a ferocious beast meant to be feared, and others think it's a harmless creature. There are other theories that Bigfoot is related to humans since it walks on two legs, while others think it's an extraterrestrial being. I honestly love these. I love those old shows like back in the late 2000s where they would try and hunt for him and stuff. There was a show called Fact or Faked as well where they basically try and recreate paranormal, unexplainable videos, and I'm pretty sure they did a few on Bigfoot. I know they did one at least. It might just be because it reminds me of my childhood when I used to watch those shows, but I love anything to do with Bigfoot for that reason. Also, Fact or Faked was amazing. I wish they did more episodes. I don't know what to believe though when it comes to this. Some people claim that they saw Bigfoot when actually they aren't even certain what they saw in the first place. Some people pretend to be him in a suit to either trick others or to make their own fake footage. I'm sure some people who claim they saw Bigfoot might have just been mistaken by a different animal standing on its 2 feet or something. I don't know. Maybe something actually did exist that looked like that. Like, because the Bigfoot theory is quite old, so who knows. Either way, I like the idea of him just lurking around out there somewhere, just chilling. I'm now getting flashbacks. I feel like I've already spoken about Bigfoot and I've said that same thing about Bigfoot in one of these videos before. That's what happens when you make 500 parts in the same series. Crop circles are strange patterns that appear mysteriously overnight in farmers' fields. People claim that aliens make these patterns or that they are messages from time travelers. I feel sorry for aliens. They get blamed for everything that we can't explain. If something happens and there's no obvious explanation for it at the time, aliens. Sometimes it's a good thing for them, I guess. Like, some people actually believe that aliens built the pyramids. And if I was an alien and I came to Earth and people were like, did you build these? And I didn't. I'd just be like, yeah, that was me. Anyway, before we suspect they're aliens for this, I think we should, see if it's a hoax or not, because I think that's a bit more realistic. Although I do believe in aliens, by the way. Someone could have just made those patterns to spook people. There have been times where people have done that, by the way, where they have created a hoax out of this. So there's one explanation for it. I can't prove if aliens did it or not, though. It is believed when you die in a dream, you wake up because your brain cannot process the idea of death and what comes after. If you've ever had a dream where you die in it and you didn't wake up straight after, what happened? Because even though I guess we don't know what happens after death, most of us believe in something like an afterlife or being reborn or something like that. So surely the brain, if you're in a dream, it could think of something like that, right? I mean, dreams can be really weird sometimes. I barely remember my dreams, but when I do, they feature the most random people and places, and I'm sure my brain could come up with some afterlife if I die in a dream. I don't know, I'm gonna try and think of a scenario while I'm falling asleep, and hopefully it carries on into my dream so I can find out. Now, before we move on, here's something else to think about. Your information is not as secure as you think it is online. When you're online browsing, the information that you share with the websites that you're connected to isn't completely safe or private, and people could potentially get access to it. For example, when I download clips to use in my YouTube videos, the website has these pop-up ads that are clearly viruses, and they try to make me click with clickbait like, find out how this man in makes £10,000 a day without doing anything. I don't really feel comfortable with websites or people having access to my location or other sensitive information. Well, with NordVPN, you can connect to one of their secure servers, which basically hides any sensitive information you're sharing by encrypting it before it reaches its destination. I'll connect to another UK server, and those pop-up ads all of a sudden think I live in London. It protects you when you're using an open Wi-Fi connection in public. Your internet service provider won't be able to see what you're doing online as well. Not only is it good to be safer online though, but you can even get access to content that you wouldn't usually be able to access in your country. When I watched all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, some of the films were on Netflix, just not the UK version. So I just found out which countries did have them on Netflix, connected to that country, then I could watch them. I've been using NordVPN since I got my first computer nearly a year ago now, and that's why I'm really happy they sponsored this video. Right now you can get 68% off a 2-year plan and another month for free if you go to nordvpn.com/polar, or you can use my code POLAR, which will make your subscription just over $3 a month. It's not just for computers, there's Android and iOS apps as well, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you do change your mind for whatever reason, you can. Once again, thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. Since we're nearly 10 parts into this iconic series, I think it's about time that I make my own conspiracy page. I've seen so many of these now that I've consumed so much of them that I could make my own and just blend right in. First of all, we need a username. So the general rule is to have conspiracy or conspiracies at the beginning. So like conspiracy.house or conspiracy. Like maybe a place or something. That one's available. I'm going with that. For the bio, we're just going to go with like a woke quote. I'm just going to go with the basic stay woke. Have to include the full stop at the end there to make it a bit more dramatic. For the profile picture, you just want to go with like a triangle, like an Illuminati sort of, or maybe go with like a popular conspiracy theory, so like astronauts or Earth. Right, there we go. The account is created. It's there. Now all we need is a few posts. When you're making your own, you could either come up with your own decent theories, like some of these accounts do, or you can just take old theories that have already been debunked 1,000 times already and just post them. An example of that would be like the this man theory, which for those of you who don't know was like this thing where people all across the world were reporting seeing this face in their dreams, this same face. But it turned out to be a marketing scheme, a little promotion for a movie that someone was making. And the people that were seeing it in their dreams were either lying, or they saw this picture first and then it appeared in their dreams, which makes sense because they've already seen this before. They were already thinking about it. So we're just going to ignore all that and post it. Next up, we've got to go with the Simpsons prediction post. Okay, no conspiracy page is complete without one. So again, we're just going to find something that's already been debunked. This one here, I actually looked at in one of my Simpsons videos that I did. Sort of like a spin-off to the conspiracy theory series, but it's just full of Simpsons predictions. Coronavirus. Oh, so this was fake and they didn't actually predict the coronavirus. Well, I'm going to post a theory anyway. I swear that's the process some of them go through. And since we haven't had an asteroid theory in today's video, let's make one ourselves. Just put in 2020 or 2021 asteroids, and then it'll come up with... Ah, look at this, here we go. NASA, next killer asteroid that might hit Earth. DART will undergo several test drives starting on July 2021, facing against its first asteroid called Didymoon, expected to hit Earth in October 2022. Right, perfect. You can make a theory out of this. And now we have the first 3 posts on the conspiracy.house account. I'm just kidding. I do actually like some of these conspiracy accounts like Co-Theories and Conspiracies at RN. There's more as well, but they don't take themselves too seriously. They often laugh at some of the theories that they post. But there's definitely some out there like this parody that I just made where they actually will just post outdated theories that have already been debunked. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you all in my next video.